Good morning, everybody. We're just in time for the morning buzz. Spooky. I love it. And Kenny, I like your background. Abbey Road, beautiful. It's perfect. Well, welcome to the spooky morning buzz, the spooky buzz, as we like to call it. As always, I am George Jamgochi, and join alongside everybody. Introduce yourself.
Well, I am Ryan Trick from the Monday Buzz, and I am dressed up as Sully from Monsters Inc.
I am Amanda from the Monday Buzz, and I am dressed up as Boo from Monsters Inc.
Aw.
I am Philippe Costa from the Tuesday Buzz, and I'm dressed up as Vinyl Fawn. No, I'm kidding. I'm just dressed up as a greaser for today. Got my hair.
Cool. Hey everybody, my name's Tara, also from the Tuesday Buzz, and I am Thing from the Addams Family.
I'm Trent Freeman from the Friday Buzz. I'm a New York Met.
I thought you were going to say Noah Syndergaard, but okay.
Actually, it's my DeGrom.
Okay, gotcha.
Actually,
gotcha.
Alonzo.
Mhm.
Totally wrong.
I'm Kenny Horn from the Friday Buzz. I am the entirety of the Beatles.
Nicely done.
Leslie Gallagher, of course, is joining us, but she is the spookiest thing of all. Yes, I'm talking about bad internet connection.
Huh.
And,
And look,
so hopefully she'll
I
be joining us soon.
and look, I am dressed as something else. I need to get one more piece of my costume. I'll be right back.
Oh no,
Time.
George!
I was gonna say
This
George
is a
was
very suspenseful thing. So we got a
It's
fun show for
suspense.
everybody today.
we do.
We are
Look at
as
this,
a part
huh?
of the spooky. Oh no. Oh gosh.
Boy.
What? So George, for you radio listeners out there, is Minnie Mouse at a Padres game? That...
Close. I'm a Southern
Oh,
California
you're
guy.
Southern Californian.
Oh, that is horrifying. That is scary.
That's pretty
God.
funny.
Yeah, I got these
All right, I'm
miniatures
digging
from my roommate who's from Southern California. So shout out to Nathan.
All right.
But yeah, so we have a great show for you planned today, and
All
it's very spooky.
stories.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, so many spooky stories.
And of course, if you want to see us in costumes, we'll probably take some screenshots and post it to socials. But you can also check us out on Facebook after the fact, or on YouTube after the fact
What are you
as well.
talking about, Ryan? We're streaming on Facebook.
Oh my gosh, Mark Zuckerberg himself allowed it today? Never mind, you can check us out live on
Jesse
Facebook at the
Eisenberg.
moment.
Thanks,
Hey,
Dad.
how's it going, Facebook? Anyways, we had a spooky show today. But, of course, Kenny Horn is here. Kenny, do you have a spooky newscast?
I do have a spooky newscast. Thank you. In international news this morning, a big step is made in Asian LGBTQ plus rights. 2 Taiwanese women became the first military officers to marry their same-sex partner in the country. The marriage had the support of the country's defense ministry and commander of the Taiwan Army. In many countries in Asia, the same-sex marriage is still illegal. Last year, Taiwan became the first to legalize it. While the marriage is a big step, there is still debate over same-sex parenting and other similar issues in the country. In America this morning, a Maine woman will be sleeping in a prison cell after mailing powder to a state senator. The 30-month-long sentence was imposed Thursday for the issue that happened in 2018. The powder referenced deadly poison. It also contained a stick figure with the letter X for eyes. The FBI found no deadly substances when they examined the powder. While there were no lethal elements in the letter, a U.S. attorney stated that it is not funny, as threats are not protected by free speech. In New Jersey, 3 men are charged with the murder of a teenager. According to the Toms River Police, the trio were charged with murder, 2 counts of attempted murder, and conspiracy to commit murder. The 3-week investigation of the crimes was praised by the Ocean County prosecutor for the speed of arresting the criminals. The arrests come after an October 11th incident where the victim was shot in the head while inside a car. The victim died at Jersey Shore University Medical Center 3 days after his wounds. In Montclair news, make sure you fill your parking meter. On Sunday, free and overnight parking will no longer be free. The Montclair Parking Utility is lifting its restrictions on parking made over the pandemic. Citizens of the town are upset with the situation and only being given a week's notice. Many argue that the free parking is still needed because the townspeople are still working from home. The city plans on opening more parking decks next year to add a few hundred more spots. And for the weather, get your jackets ready. It's a high of 41 and a low of 28 today in Montclair. Set to rain today until 1 p.m. and the humidity is 94%.
Yes, good stuff. Some good stuff going on in the world. Some sad stuff, some good stuff. It's all over
Mixed
the place
bag.
a little bit. It's always a mixed bag. I think the weather though, has been quite spooky. Is it just me and where I've been, or has it been raining for like the past,
Oh,
I don't know, 5
been
days?
It's the back
straight?
end of a
here.
hurricane. That's why.
Yeah, it's been across the board. I know
Yeah.
I've been sitting here having to record for a few different days for classes and everything, and it's just in the background as I edit it. It's just water hitting my air conditioner. I'm like, great, it's great audio
Some
quality.
good
Love it.
background, you know.
Yeah, it's fair. All right, so as always, Friday, Trent Freeman. How's it going, man?
It's going great.
You got some
well,
sports for us? You're a
I
Mets
do.
player?
Is
I
it
do.
spooky sports? That's the real question.
We've got a
Spooky.
spooky segment in there, but it's
He's dressed as a Mets fan. How much scarier do you want him to be?
I did my best to fit the theme. You gave me a theme, I'm gonna fit it. But
Awesome.
Nicely done.
All right, Trent, what's going on in the world of sports?
we'll get started in Los Angeles, where the Dodgers won their 7th World Series of all time. They joined the Lakers as the second Los Angeles team this year to win a championship. This is the first World Series for the Dodgers since 1988 when they beat the Oakland Athletics. What team won the NBA title in 1988, you ask? That's right, the Los Angeles Lakers. We may watch another team have some 88 deja vu if we see the Washington football team win the Super Bowl. Jokes aside, if the Rams can win the Super Bowl this year, it will be a rare sighting of one city winning 3 major championships in 1 year. This is extremely rare, but not impossible. Detroit, Michigan managed to pull it off before the NBA was even formed, when they won championships in the NFL, NHL, and the MLB. The year was 1935. For local teams, there will be a sport today on Steve Cohen as the new owner of the New York Mets. Anticipating his induction and a significant raise in the budget, the Mets let go of both catchers, Wilson Ramos and Robinson Chirinos. All signs point to them signing Phillies catcher JT Realmuto to a big contract in free agency. Now, fitting with the spooky theme of the day, on the gridiron, the Jets have still yet to put it together and get their first win. As they pass the midway point of the season 0-7, their chances of the first overall draft pick get better and better. All eyes are on quarterback Trevor Lawrence and whether he declares for the draft or stays for his senior season. Former All-Pro receiver Roddy White has publicly urged TL to do the latter, saying, quote, "If I'm Trevor Lawrence, if the Jets finish with no wins, I just go back to Clemson. I don't want any part of that organization," end quote. It's a scary decision, to be sure, for a kid who's virtually locked up that first overall spot. Now, George, I'll ask you to put yourself in his shoes. You're on the hot seat right now. It's January 8th, 2021. The draft order is set, and the Jets have the first overall pick. Do you declare, or do you stay for your senior season at Clemson?
If I was TL, I would stay.
I don't blame you. They're a mess from the top down right now.
Well, thank you very much, Trent. Yeah, I don't know much about sports, I'll be honest, but
Yeah,
this
I
is
always-
why I love having Trent. I love having George. You guys keep me and the rest of the world informed.
Trent, this
Keeps-
is kind of
Keeps nodding his
embarrassing,
head.
but
He
like,
knows what's up.
what is football? Like, I don't really know. Like, do you just?
It's a mistake.
It's
Oh, it's a
a
mistake.
oblong.
Yikes.
It's what those weird Europeans call soccer.
Ah.
As my family calls it, football, because we're
Football.
Portuguese.
Yeah, FUTBOL, yeah?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, something like
Yes.
that.
But
Exactly.
let's talk a little bit about some candy. Trick-or-treating, the CDC says, is risky and not too risky. So this
True.
article is from CNET. The headline is appropriately Halloween, COVID-19, trick or treating, and what the CDC says is too risky. Celebrating Halloween is going to be different this year thanks to the COVID-19 pandemic. While the Halloween and fall season come with fun and festive traditions, like trick or treating in haunted houses, it's important to remember that many, if not most, of these activities come with the risk of spreading or contracting the coronavirus. Given that Halloween isn't canceled altogether, at least depending on where you live, you can still celebrate in safe ways, but you will have to be a bit creative and flexible compared to what you might used to do. So there's a list of activities they put together to avoid specifically. So as it goes, it has things such as traditional door-to-door trick-or-treating, trunk or treating, where treats are handed out from the trunks of cars and to keep children safe. Although that sounds sketchy, just to be honest.
Have you never done that before?
Yeah,
I've never done
trick-or-treating's-
that. That sounds like how you get kidnapped.
No,
Yeah,
it's
I-
it's
no, no,
usually
no,
at
no.
like an event. Like I remember it during Sandy, they were doing that. I think or not
Yeah.
Sandy, it was something else that they organized it at a school. So like my elementary school actually like organized it at the school, and so like all these cars were there, and then like you weren't the only car just sitting in
Yeah,
a
it's
parking
not
lot.
like just
That
you
was,
keep your
like-
car like randomly open in front of your house. Like,
Hey, you
"Come
want
on
some
in,
candy, kids?"
Like, yeah. No. It's
Mm,
like they're like organized.
Okay,
things.
okay. So the
Still
list
weird.
goes on. You have attend costume parties held indoors. This is, what you shouldn't do. Going to an indoor haunted house, going on hay rides or tractor rides with people that don't live in your household. Use alcohol or drugs, which can cloud your judgment. I feel like that's a given.
That's a given. Yeah.
Traveling to a fall festival that is not in your community, especially if you are from a place with a lot of COVID-19 cases. However, they do have a short list of low risk activities to do, which includes costume parades outdoors with a small group of people, going into an open air walk through a haunted forest where people can socially distance, visiting a pumpkin patch or apple orchard where you use hand sanitizer before touching apples, pumpkins, and using masks, and outdoor Halloween movie night with local friends or family with people at least 6 feet apart. So, a lot of this stuff, for the most part, is very much common sense things you should be doing. Um, Look, we live in New Jersey. We already dealt with having Halloween canceled once. I think we can
Yeah.
handle it this year.
Yeah.
know,
It's I'll be honest, I was slightly surprised that I guess I was surprised in one sense that a lot of people were doing Halloween this year. Like
Mhm.
in New Jersey, like a lot of towns were open to it. So I'm kind of excited to see. I was debating with my dad this morning how we're gonna handle the whole passing out candy thing.
Oh, I'm straight up not.
Yeah, I'm just
you
gonna leave
know,
a bowl outside. I know my
Yeah.
aunt was gonna make like little bags and stuff and like so they could just grab a bag and go.
That's
That's
actually
a good
probably
idea.
What
what we're
if they
thinking.
take the whole bowl?
That too. That's always a worry. People have
Like
always
the
stole my
delinquent
bowls in the
fruit,
past few
so-
years, so like I don't know.
You
But
gotta. No, go ahead, Amanda.
no, I was no. You go overhead because I have something that's gonna like lead to something else. So.
No, I was just gonna say you just set up a Home Alone style trap where if you take the whole bucket,
Yeah, like yeah.
Paintballs.
If the bucket is removed at all, it springs a trap.
yeah, Indiana
Yeah.
Jones style, you see a giant ball of like styrofoam coming at people. It won't hurt anyone, and you can't get
Yeah.
legally
No,
sued
it's a
for
boulder, and you're
Styrofoam.
punished for breaking the rules.
it. Straight up
No.
murder someone.
So I have a question for you all that are on here. I
What's up?
know I mentioned it on the Monday Buzz one time, and I think we talked about it on the Wednesday Buzz, but nobody's here from the Wednesday Buzz, so it's a new question for all of you.
Cool.
So say you're a parent this year, like you have a kid that's like 5 years old, 6 years old. They love Halloween. They want to
Oh
get
my
dressed
god,
up.
I never knew.
Can I re-roll?
That's
They-
spookier.
They roll and you have a 5 or 6 year old. They want to go trick or treating. They've been stuck in the house all year, like the same way we have. But you now have to make the decision: is your kid gonna go trick or treating? They do live in New Jersey, so it's been like the on and off. Like it's been okay, it hasn't been okay. What do you do?
No.
That's a no for
No.
me.
No,
So-
hard no, dude. New Jersey just requalified for like being able to quarantine if the law so decided. Like
Yeah.
we're not in the clear because it's been a while,
Mhm.
Like even though fatigue is a real thing and I get it, like you can't just say, "Oh, we've been tired for a while." Like, we can't keep the kids in the house. You have to. It's still a
Mhm.
safety thing. So hard
Um,
no. Hard no.
Newark is dealing with some of the highest rates right now, and some of it is due to a lot of restaurants starting to enclose their outdoor dining spaces, which completely defeats the purpose.
Yeah, that's not outdoor.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
you'll see these outdoor little shacks, but then instead of having open air, they are either covered by some sort of tarp or they're covered by a like piece of plexiglass. So no, I mean if you already have these increased cases, we're going back to all non-essential businesses needing to be closed by 8 p.m. and anything essential in any outdoor areas being closed by 11 p.m. So for me at least, no, I know, my little cousin is gonna have to kind of just deal with that. It's unfortunate, but we're gonna do our best we can to entertain her and give her some Halloween experience. But
Here's what you do, right? I'm gonna break down for everybody what the easiest thing to do in that situation you just described, Ryan. Okay.
Okay.
Sell the kid. Buy yourself some candy for yourself.
With the
Enjoy
profit.
Halloween.
Thanks, Thing.
Oh boy.
I would here's what I would do, because I feel like part of Halloween is
Please don't
like
say
the
sell the kid.
exercise of walking. So I would
Are you gonna make them walk for the candy and then you're not even gonna let them stop at any house?
yeah, that's exactly what I would do. I'd have a wheelbarrow
If you have a
and
treadmill,
the kids are
at home.
walking and the more blocks they walk, the more candy I pour into that wheelbarrow, and they have to pull it and they get a nice leg workout. My neighborhood has a lot of hills.
yeah.
Ooh, that gave me an idea.
Oh no.
Slingshot.
So
fire the candy at them.
well,
Yes!
it's funny. So I was actually gonna bring that up. So on the buzz, we've been talking about like throughout the different days. I've noticed there have been a couple stories of people doing clever ways to like pass out candy. And one of my favorite ones, there was I was laughing at it because the video is ridiculous. Some family built what they called a candy pult.
That
It
sounds
is a
dangerous.
literal like catapult
That
that
sounds glorious.
slings candy. I don't know how to feel about it other than like that's insanely awesome. And
At that point, I just make Jawbreaker bolos,
yeah.
Those things are literally
Jawbreakers.
just kind of like the clackers with two balls at the end
Oh,
of it,
yeah.
but they're Jawbreakers.
Oh,
So the
Lord.
plan is if a kid decides to try to trick or treat, I'll scare them off my property. And then as they're running off,
Or if
I'll
they
swing the bolos over my
some
head,
bolos at
fling
'em.
them at them. They'll get caught in the legs. They'll face plant, maybe hurt themselves, but then they look down. It's
It'll
like,
be a
oh,
literal jawbreaker.
giant
That'll teach them
Jawbreakers.
to
This
trick
is
or
like an Ed and Eddie sketch where, since they love jawbreakers and
It is.
Eddie, oh, ho, 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 or something. I don't know.
Exactly.
So Leslie, George, if you're able to comment, I was just curious about the question I threw at you.
Yeah. What would you guys do? You have a kid.
If I have a kid, well, I would have to play it safe and tell them to not trick or treat this year because, I mean, look, it's depressing. I get it, but there's always next year. There's going to be so many more years of them trick or treating. I remember when Hurricane Sandy hit. Like I wasn't able to trick or treat that year because
That was rough.
of
Yeah.
what
Yeah.
happened. And also, like I remember the year before, 2011, it snowed, and
Yeah.
and yeah, I wasn't able to go trick or treating in my town, but instead, I actually went trick or treating in another town because they canceled it in my town. But I mean, there were times where I wasn't able to trick or treat, and we ended up not just doing it that year. So, I mean, but look, if kids do come, then I would be that good guy and give them king size candy bars because that's what you got to do.
Yeah. I'm trying to convince my dad to, if kids do come to our house, let's just open our window and throw candy at them.
You don't want to give everybody hand
Yeah.
sanitizer or something and be that person.
I,
Yeah.
yeah,
Just
I
squirt
did
the
have
hand
I did have
sanitizer
that
in their mouth.
discussion. I was like Amanda, should I be the guy to go to Costco, buy just a pallet of tiny like sample sized hand sanitizers
But you
and
see
pass
that's
those out
like
for
a
Halloween?
necessity nowadays. So you wouldn't
It's
want to
also
use.
kind of genius because no one's gonna come to your house next year.
Exactly.
So like, don't even bother
Oh.
getting
And the
candy next year.
people
No
who
one's
You
do
are
coming.
so right.
are the ones that are safe.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. It's a win-win.
Or nerds.
There was a
I was
guy.
gonna say, or
in-
you make masks for your trick or treaters and you hand them out.
This
If
is
you
like a
combine 'em
next
with
level
candy,
thing.
If you combine them with candy, that's obviously a pretty
Like a
swell
mask
idea.
with a Snickers like taped on the inside so you can just chew it as
I'll
you're
put the
mask on,
walking
you're like-
along. Yeah, you're
I have one story. There was the weirdest thing I ever got while trick or treating was there was a guy that came to the door and said he gave us a piece of candy and then he gave us his business card for car insurance. He was an insurance salesman, and I'm like, okay, great. I won't need this in like 15 years, but thanks.
So
You know.
gave it to your parents.
That's
Hello,
not
No,
how
he
it
gave
sounds.
it to me. He gave it to
child,
me.
only
Oh,
when
I
you
was gonna
need
say, I
one.
think that's kind of clever because a lot of kids they'll like sort through the candy with their parents or whatever, and their parents are like, "Oh, what'd you get?" And as a
Oh.
kid, you could be like, "Oh, I got this little card." And as a kid, you don't want to see your parents throw away your Halloween like treats, so why
No,
would
but
they
the
throw away the
card
business
isn't
card?
candy. I don't
I
care.
think it's clever.
I wouldn't.
No, I still think the trunk or treat thing is like both cool and really creepy. But
Come get your
anyways,
candy from my trunk, children.
yeah, exactly. It's like,
Oh,
hey
yes,
kids,
come get
check
your
out my
candy from
van
my
that I
trunk.
decked out into a haunted house. It's real spooky. All right, we're gonna move
It's
along
very
before I go any
spooky.
further with that joke.
I love candy. Point be made. I love candy.
Exactly. So, next story we're gonna be talking about. Need a trick or treating alternative? You check out this mom's hack. So, because like we just said, it's been rough during Halloween. Kids not going out. Well, this mom is introducing glow in the dark ghost hunts. So I don't know if you guys have seen this video. So
No, I have not.
I'm gonna share my screen here in just a second. But the general idea is instead of going trick or treating, you kind of set up a little glow in the dark ghost hunt for the inside of your house. Here we go. I'm going to share the screen. So you set up a little glow in the dark ghost hunt on the inside of your house. You take little things of candy in tissue paper, turn them into little ghosts. You can find this out on a GMA. And again, you can always check us out live on Facebook and on YouTube and stuff. But you take little things of candy, wrap them in tissue paper, tie them off. And the general idea is after you tie them off, you can write a little ghost face on them, and then you hide them around your house for your kids to find. It's kind of like a weird, I don't know, not like Easter egg. It's like almost like an Easter egg.
Yeah.
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 I guess it's an alternative to like then go trick or treating. Then I guess.
Mhm.
right?
Exactly. So you
Right.
set up a little trick or treat adventure for your kids.
That was
Although-
my idea for the last question. Would you take your kid out? I was thinking like, no, I wouldn't, but like I could hide some candy in the house. Like that person did it better, but that was my idea.
Well,
Yeah.
now I want to
Right.
go off Trent's idea, and I feel like if you can hide him across the town and
Yeah.
make your kid run across the town and do it, like that's the entire night right there.
I mean,
You
know?
I
It's
always
like
heard
military
that,
training. You hang them from the tree.
You
so they have
gotta
to
dress
climb the
up-
tree to get
Yeah.
it.
You
You
have
gotta
to
dress
zip
up as
line
the
to get
drill
your
sergeant
candy.
from Full
I-
Metal Jacket and be screaming at them the entire time.
I always heard the concept of like
you gonna have to earn it.
I always heard the concept that you can't go out, but like you just go get your kids a bag of candy then because it's like the equivalent. Like just go to the
Oh
store and
yeah.
get a giant bag.
Yeah,
But
we're gonna go
by the
trick or
way-
treating at CVS today, kids.
I'm gonna
mean,
teach you about the value
You
of
can wear
money.
your costume.
That's like my dad never understood the concept of trick or treating because he's from Italy, like rural Italy.
Mhm.
And like it was like a foreign thing to him. He's like, why would I ever send my kid like begging from door to door? Like I would rather just buy them candy. I'm
Yeah.
like, that's not that's
It's
not the point, but
my family took some
appreciate
I
it.
love
time.
that perspective of it though. It's
Yeah.
like it's such a logical perspective on
Right.
Halloween. It's like I don't want my kids learning how to be beggars.
No,
Like,
and then the other idea is if they're begging, is that how they're going to turn into for the rest of their lives? They're always just going to go beg for things, and they're
They
going
also
to
go to a
just.
stranger's home asking for stuff.
Yeah, I know.
I
They could
don't
just be
know.
like, "Hey, kids, come inside."
Yeah,
no.
by
I
the,
don't
by the
know.
time I was born, my family was very much well versed with what it's like living in the United States, but they're also from Portugal and moved here. So I can imagine like when they first came over and they saw Halloween, maybe people ring their doorbell. They're like, "What's going on? Who is this? Why is this child dressed up and saying trick or treat? What does this mean?" But
That's kind of like a scary thing to yell at someone if you don't know what
yeah,
it means. Like trick or treat, it's like that's
like
kind of a lot.
Hey, wait, can we back up for a second? When does anybody ever do the trick portion though? Unless it's like mischief night, which is tonight, I believe, right?
That's a
Tonight's
great
mischief
way to
night.
get your house like egged.
Ooh,
It is.
yeah.
I would
Which
always
is
sit in the bushes in the front of my house, and when people, because I was never allowed to like go out and like be a goon to my neighbors, my parents wouldn't allow it. So I had a foam slash not foam, a silly string slash water gun, and I would like
Oh no.
I would literally be in my bushes like camoed up, and when people would like just before they were about to launch it, I would pop out and they would get soaked
And start
oh, you're
spraying it.
defending the
Defend my
homestead. That's
home.
There you
amazing.
go.
You're the Kevin McAllister.
I will say, I have a visceral reaction to any time a video is described as a hack, because it just reminds me of those ridiculous YouTube videos like this. Check out this life hack to fix this thing, and it's like some ridiculous.
Yeah, like fill
handmade
gaps in your
solution.
furniture with dried ramen noodles. Like
I saw that and I love that video. That is a fantastic
No.
video. No.
I
It-
can't
I
with those.
viscerally get revolted by them because it's just it's cool for some of them. They're genuinely cool ideas that people figure out, but some of them are just so nonsensical, and it's like there are easier ways to do this aside from, concocting some breathing apparatus from the plastic tubes of pens and like silly
All
string.
right, now you've moved on from hack videos to MacGyver.
But
Yeah,
but
that's
they're
true.
still called hack videos.
Yeah, they really are. I was just about to say, Tara, these hack videos are more like MacGyver, like how to MacGyver something.
I'd say more
Right.
MacGruber than MacGyver.
More MacGruber, yeah. Yeah, no,
Alright.
it's cool to see. I guess for people who don't know, because a lot of people don't know about this. We mentioned Mischief Night. I realized people don't know what Mischief Night is.
No.
So if your house ever gets TP'd the night before Halloween, the night before Halloween is Mischief Night. It's where all of the hoodlums and hooligans of the world, and cause
Right.
mischief.
You know what I never understood about the mischief night? I feel like the point of mischief night was if someone didn't give you candy, you were gonna go like TP their house, but yet it's the night before.
Right.
Nah.
It's I think it's like a situation where they didn't give me candy the last Halloween, so I'm gonna make their life horrible.
That's
Is it just
364 days of revenge.
Yeah.
is it just my town, or did anyone else hear it called Cabbage Night?
nope.
No, but I
Oh,
have
that's a
heard some different
weird-
names for it.
Yeah,
That's a
they're
weird
different.
Bergen County thing.
I
It
heard
might be.
Ghost
Might be.
Night. Mine was Ghost Night. Mine was yeah. That's
See,
what
that
they-
makes
Yeah,
sense
it's-
though, because that's like spooky. What is Cabbage Night?
I mean, did
Cabbage
people's
Night?
houses get pelted by cabbages, or even
Yeah.
worse, like sauerkraut?
That
My
would be more, that would
cabbages.
be more fun, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
But, like-
sauerkraut. You got to throw it at, and it's just very. you
Yeah.
know.
But I'd be the person to throw sauerkraut in the glass jar still, because I'm very forgetful, and I'd panic in this situation because of anxiety and just be like,
You actually just shower a house with glass.
but I have
And a
to sit
little-
there and sweep it up.
A small, quick little PSA for anybody wanting to do Mischief Night. I guess there's nothing wrong with like harmless fun. Please don't egg people's cars.
No.
happened to my brother.
Because something people don't realize. When you egg someone's car, it like destroys the paint job on the car.
Mhm.
Way.
Honestly,
Like
I'm just gonna say
seriously
this. I
damages
feel like
it.
mischief night, it's not the year for it. Not gonna lie.
Correct.
Yeah.
I support that 100%.
It's not the year for it. Any other year it might
Yeah.
be funny, but it's like this year it's just like people just want to go trick or treating, have some
Yeah.
kind of time. Not the
Something
year for it.
something kind of fun, I guess, that this actually just happened to my dad and I the day before yesterday. I got home and my dad was like, "Hey, there's some like bag on our porch." I was like, "There's a okay." So we take the bag very carefully inside. And I was like washing my hands after I touched it. but I kind of let it sit there for a few minutes. I very carefully like peeked in, and there was a little sign that said, "You've been booed. Place this sign in your window." Or make it no, it said make 2 copies of this sign, and there was like a bag of actually like there's like a box of like very nice chocolates in the bag.
Right. I've seen that called ghosting too.
Yeah, and
that's-
it was like you've been booed. Make 2 copies of this sign. Place this sign in your window, and basically you pay it forward to 2 people. But make sure they don't see you, and like half the fun is guessing who booed you. So it's a thing you can do like around your neighborhood. It's kind of, I guess, for our listeners out there, yeah, I guess it's a little like maybe late to do it today because it's the day before Halloween. But I thought that was kind of interesting.
That's cool.
As like it's a fun version of like Mischief Night. You kind of like prank someone, but there's
Not really
both...
like mischief though.
Yeah, it's not
just
very
more like you're being nice,
mischievous.
pay it forward,
I'll be honest,
Honestly.
I was wigging out a little bit. I was very concerned when my dad was like, "Yeah, there's a bag on our front porch." I was like,
That's when you assume it's like the worst thing possible, which is sometimes people will leave like a bag of
dog remnants.
Oh my
Dog
god,
remnants.
I'm
That's-
sorry.
That's where I thought it was going.
Yeah. So
Sorry about that jump scare, by the way. That was just me opening up the article for the next story. And that happened. So I
That's
guess
fun.
we'll just pretend that was on purpose. So boo.
Ooh.
The way that 2020 is going, if people go out for Mischief Night in full, like the purge could break out.
yeah, please
Right.
don't actually go out for
A
Mischief
little
Night.
bit of
And if-
Project X.
Yeah, and if you do, don't egg people's cars.
Be
It
safe.
like really does screw up the
I mean, I
paint
don't know. That
job.
toilet paper comes in need at times because
And
we
toilet
get that
paper's
year, the
important,
year we
exactly.
had.
We're
Look, we
going
already
back
had
into lockdown, people. We can't be wasting toilet paper.
We'll probably have
Facts.
another truck crashing and setting on fire full of toilet paper.
Toilet
Yeah.
paper is going to be currency in about like 3 months.
It's like
Just
bottle
hold on
caps.
to it.
Exactly. I was just
We
about
like
to say it's
passing
like
the
bottle
toilet paper
caps.
across the table. It's like I'll give you a bag of candy for some food.
Exactly. Well, can I just mail my bill company like a pack of toilet paper? Like, would they accept that?
Would
It'd just be
Would-
like, here.
Can I
here
pay
you
off
go.
my car?
Or like
in-
Lysol or something. Like
Yeah, can I pay off my car in 2 to 3 ply? Is that a possibility?
2 to 3. It varies.
Anyways, I'm
Yeah.
getting I'm just now getting some information actually. Shout out to our wonderful spooky general manager Annabella Poland, who she is listening, and she said there's an adult version of the activity I just described called "You've Been Boozed," and people leave spirits.
Ooh,
You got money.
spirits.
You guys
My mo-
have money.
Yeah, I was gonna say that.
Oh,
that
no,
sounds
if-
expensive.
Yeah,
If
no,
I'm
my-
doing
no,
this, I'm
it's-
leaving you like $5 wine.
there's
That's
actually
it.
like there was a thing going around in the summer. There was a thing going around in the summer. My mom was part of it. There was like that they send baskets to each other with like wine and like chocolate and food and things like that. And they like you're supposed to do it to your friends. It's almost like a secret Santa, but it's like wine or like alcohol related / like some food.
Yeah.
Maybe throw
My-
some toilet paper in there. I don't know.
Secret
Yeah,
Dionysus,
exactly.
since he's the
My
god of
friends,
wine.
my friends and I have done something pretty weird. We've not egged. We've pickled houses where we've thrown pickles at houses.
Interesting.
It's
I don't know
pickle.
where my
Yeah.
head thought went.
Pickle Rick.
I don't know where my head went when you said we've pickled houses.
Just cover the house in brine.
I was like, did you like make a brine and like cover the house in it? I was
You hear a
like, very
helicopter.
confused for a moment. I did not just my first thought was not throwing pickles at a house. All right.
Is
So
dumb.
we got some fun. Everybody's got some fun costumes. I have 2 costumes. I'm not wearing the other one obviously though because I can't wear 2 at once. But we
Yeah,
got
you
some,
surprised me. I thought you were
I
gonna wear your
saw-
Renaissance fair gear.
yeah, I saw this next article. I'm gonna throw it to Tara. I saw this next article actually already, and I love it. Tara.
All right, so there's some this is a scary time. There's scary things happening, and this one dad decided that he was gonna take advantage of the weirdness of this situation and make a Halloween costume with his daughter. Greg, I'm gonna butcher your name. I apologize. Diesenbach is this is from Good Morning America, is no stranger to doing, really cool Halloween costumes, but seeing all the weird stuff that's happened this year, he decided he wanted to make a Zoom themed costume for his daughter. And if you could see it, I don't this is, oh my goodness, if we could share the screen on Facebook Live for this article, this
yeah.
is incredible. There are screens. It is a grid of like 6 faces of a Zoom call, and
Yeah.
there are screens, there are monsters, and then his daughter is in the center screen with a mask on. That is so cool. He said it was lucky
So-
because he works for a company that does like special effects stuff. In his words, builds corporate environments and museums. So he had a large format printer at his disposal.
Mhm.
So he made this. This is amazing. Look at this thing.
Is
So-
the top one a screen that they
Yeah,
had, like,
so
put
the
in?
Yeah.
the coolest part about this is it looks like the grid view of a Zoom call for those of you who can't see. And basically, like Tara said, the middle one is a cutout. So the daughter who is the person is, like in the cutout. You can see their face. But then the very top one is like an actual like a tablet built
it
into
took
the
me
thing.
so long
Right,
to
he said that's the
realize that this wasn't like an actual screen, and that she
Yeah.
is holding this. Like, this is very impressive.
This thing is big.
right, and he said the top screen, the one that's actually like moving, is the same iPad he used to draw all the other monsters.
Oh yeah, and all the other monsters are pretty funny too. We have the mummy, we have Blair, who's a witch. That's the joke there. You have Frank, if you don't know who Frank is, Frankenstein, Wolfman. What is Dracula's name? Does it say? Does it just say Drac?
I think it just says Drac.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you have
Whatever you're
Invisible
looking.
Man and Next Victim, who is the
Top
the
screen.
person
Yeah.
on the very top. It's very clever.
Very 2020, as we'd say.
Yeah.
Zoom is a pretty scary platform these days.
It
Oh,
is
yeah.
it's quite spooky.
Go to any of those radio meetings last week, and you could see over the last week, and you could see exactly how scary Zoom could be.
Oh,
What an in joke.
Yeah, if
It's
y'all at home
true,
don't get
though.
that, I'm sorry, but let's just say not everybody is prepared to translate all of their material to Zoom.
Oh boy. It has been quite a spooky platform to be using. It still blows my mind how this far into the pandemic people still don't know how to mute a microphone.
Mm,
it's interesting because I remember, I think last week, I think I was just on Twitter. Someone did a Halloween decoration, which was a skeleton sitting at a desk with a computer in front of him on, and then projected onto his screen was the Zoom call that the skeleton was in, and every other person was another skeleton in a different part of inside the house as the Christmas decoration. It was quite honestly one of the most 2020 things, but also one of the most creative things ever that I've ever seen.
Yeah. There have been some awesome Halloween costumes, honestly. Like especially this year.
I was gonna say, like, look at this call though. We got some real
Get
real
some
winners.
winners.
It's
Yeah,
actually the
we-
second year I've gone as a greaser.
I'm the
Tara's
ghost of John
costume's my
Lennon,
favorite.
George Harrison.
So I guess for those of you who are listening, you're probably thinking like, well, wait, Tara's the Thing. How can Tara be the Thing? You can't really dress up as the Thing. The joke is her camera is just pointed at her hand.
Yeah.
Yeah, this costume only works here. If we go anywhere else, then I'm just a girl in a sweater. But here, Thing.
It works.
And she's been talking with her hands the entire show.
I mean, I'm Italian. This happens anyway.
Yeah, this
like-
is actually
Now,
just natural.
The commitment is fantastic.
Oh yeah.
Commitment to
Aw, I
the bit
appreciate it.
is just it's professional.
Yeah.
I appreciate it. I mean, I went as Rick Ross one year. I
A black and white filter.
That's a lot of diversity.
I let my I don't know if you guys remember this. Remember that stupid meme where Rick Ross was getting interviewed about his new diet and he's like, I eat pears. And like somehow that became the meme.
Yeah.
I went as Rick Ross. I let my boyfriend draw all over me and like try to mimic his tattoos and like, just hastily drawn on all over my body. And then my boyfriend painted his face green, and we made a cardboard cutout of a pear, and that's what we went as.
That's
It was niche, but I
love
liked it.
that.
I have an odd question.
What's up?
What does a pear taste like? I'm allergic to pears
Very sweet.
You're allergic to pears?
and apples.
oh, apples.
That's so
is sad.
weird.
Yeah, it's really weird. But what does a pear taste like?
I don't know. It
It's
tastes like
very
a pear.
it's very sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It has like a, depending on when you eat it, it has like a hint of tanginess.
Yeah.
But
I like the texture of a pear.
yeah,
Pear's
it's
got a really like good,
it's very soft,
yeah, very soft, but still like good,
firm.
solid.
It's not mushy.
texture.
It's not mushy soft. It's like
It's like a firm soft.
Crispy
Yeah.
soft.
Firm, soft.
similar
Yeah.
to a banana almost.
Almost.
Like
yeah.
Bananas are like
It's like a mix between a banana and an apple.
Well,
Well, I mean,
Well,
I
he has
have
no
had an apple.
context for the
I have-
apple.
I got look, I got nothing for you, Kenny.
I've had
I got no comparisons left. Anyways, we're gonna try and describe to Kenny the essence of a pear, but you guys don't want to hear that, so we're gonna take a short break, and when we come back, we're gonna be bringing in everybody's favorite movie guy for Fridays, Thomas Nera. He's gonna be talking. He's gonna join us with a conversation about entertainment. We're gonna be talking about the stories behind the homes from classic Halloween horror movies, and I kind of want to bring him in, get a little bit of insight on some of his spooky opinions. That and more coming up. We'll be right back though. This is the Morning Buzz, 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey.
And we're back here on the Morning Buzz. Welcome back. The dream to your chick. I'm trying to quote the Welcome Back Carter theme, but nobody knows that show because it's from the 70s and nobody knows what it is. I'm George Jim Gochin.
the show.
Welcome back, Carter. It was a show that John Travolta was on before he made it big.
It was a good show.
Ah,
Mr. Carter.
yes.
I watch a lot of 70s television shows, but definitely did miss that one. Sorry.
Yeah.
Well,
Sorry.
I will say this:
alas.
even if we missed on the reference, George is always impeccable and always on the point when it comes to doing things.
When it comes
So-
to references, George has got it down. I just never get them, and I always feel bad.
At the end of the day, it becomes our fault for not getting the references.
It's true.
We're the ones that are uncultured.
Yeah.
But
But
we
anyways.
have another person that joined us today, Thomas. Hey, how's it going?
Doing great. Happy Halloween Eve. Is that a
So-
thing?
I don't know if everybody was in the call when you joined earlier, but I think everybody should guess what your costume is. I know Ryan and I definitely know, and maybe
Oh,
somebody
man.
else heard it, but
Yeah.
Philippe, any
Glorious.
thoughts on what his costume is?
Feel like it looks familiar. There's something about it.
Yeah. Maybe
but
take the glasses off, Thomas, for a
Taking the
second.
glasses
See
off
if-
right now.
See if they can
I
get
don't
it.
know if that does any good.
Eric Cartman from South Park.
No, but that would have been great. Maybe
As
next year.
always, you can check us out on Facebook Live or on YouTube after the fact. if you
I
wanna see our
can't.
You can see all
I
the great
can't place-
costumes.
I can't place it. I can't place it.
Do it,
I feel
do
like
it.
an idiot.
Should I just say it then?
Yeah, go ahead, man.
Todd from BoJack Horseman.
Oh
Yeah.
my god.
He is
That's
amazing.
the spitting image of Todd from BoJack Horseman. That's the funny part.
That's amazing.
My
That's
favorite
a
show ever.
fantastic costume.
Thank you. It was really easy to put together.
I will say, as our entertainment segment host here, like Thomas, I did not like the last BoJack Horseman season, but that's just up for debate. No, it was trash. I'm
No.
sorry.
For those
I
of you who can't
binged
see
it
my
in
face
one
right
day.
now,
Todd is floored by this. and
I
my jaw
binged
just
it in one
dropped.
day, and that last season, and I was very disappointed. Just saying.
you are alone. I'm sorry.
Oh.
I do not share that sentiment with you. I felt that was a very fitting conclusion, and I loved it. And
It was
shed-
kind of dragging.
Oh man.
It was time for it to end. I will say that.
Okay, so no spoilers.
So Thomas, so you're a movie guy. You're a movie TV guy.
yes,
So are you a spooky movie fan? You fan of
Unfor-
like
not
what-
very
no?
much so. Unfortunately, my whole life I've always been getting scared way too
You
easily.
just had a ghost walk behind you. I hope you know that.
Yeah, it's my little brother. He don't-
Very
we don't-
spooky.
That's
We don't talk
scarier than a
about him.
ghost.
At times he could definitely be scarier than a ghost.
Fair enough. Well, so we got some we're gonna be talking about some stories behind the homes from classic Halloween horror movies. In case you just woke up or just tuned in, it's the Spooky Buzz here on 90.3 WMSC. Happy Halloween to all our listeners out there. So apparently, the Nightmare on Elm Street, 1984. Who's seen it? Show of hands or voices. No, I'm getting some shakes.
I did.
George has seen it. Awesome. Okay, so Nightmare on Elm Street. Apparently, the house from the movie actually exists. It's located in LA, and not much has changed since the filming of the movie, except for like two things. The blue door has now been painted red, which is not spooky at all. And then the creepy bars that Nancy's mom put in the windows of the house have been removed.
Now, wait, question. Is this like on the market to buy, or is this just
Yeah,
like
is
a
it
museum?
residential?
Ooh, that is an excellent question, actually. So I want to say it's like, yeah, so it was sold. This is crazy. I want you guys to guess how much this house was sold for. It's 2,700 square feet in LA.
Not knowing.
I feel like it's too much money.
Yeah.
Too much money that my brain can't comprehend.
Yeah,
So
like
the
a lot.
house was sold, not only is it 2,700 feet or square feet in LA, it was sold back in 2013, so it's not up for sale right now. But it's also obviously the house from an insanely famous movie, sold for $2.1 million.
I was pretty close.
Yeah, that's I don't know if I would pay that much just to say like, hey, I live in the house from
Yeah, I
A
was gonna
Nightmare
say,
on Elm Street.
you-
That just seems like bad karma, right?
Well, you've
Or am
never
I
seen
alone here?
No, I mean a lot of people like buying like houses though that were in movies and television shows just to be like, oh yeah, I live here, and or it's like you love the movie so much or television show so much that you want to experience it every day, I guess. But
Right,
Yeah.
the Fresh Prince house is on Airbnb now.
That's
way.
awesome.
That
What
is the
house on
greatest
Airbnb?
thing that I've ever heard in my life.
So you can
The,
pull up to
the
a
Fresh
house
Prince
around
house.
7 or 8.
Yeah.
But that's a different story for a different day. That's not spooky. That's just one of the greatest TV shows of all time. Anyway,
Facts.
The
I don't know
next
if you guys-
story.
Yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, no, go ahead.
Nah.
I was gonna say the next house is the one that gets me because we were talking about if people wouldn't. We mentioned if people wouldn't be, weirded out by living in a house set up with a movie like that. But like this is a house where the Amityville Horror was set, where in 1974 there was Long Island murders committed by Ronald DeFeo Jr. He shot and killed his parents and his 4 siblings as they slept, and people bought that house like fully knowing what had happened in it. And a year after that, Kathy and George Lutz, the new homeowners, they bought the home, reported some abnormal paranormal activity, and the events were eventually inspired the 1976 novel The Amityville Horror: A True Story that was released 3 years later. The book claims the things that happened are true. There is obviously debate on whether or not it is true, but my whole thing just comes down to, that 6 people were brutally murdered in this home, and you buy it.
Some
I
people are
mean,
just
like,
weird, man.
how cheap was it though?
That
I have no idea.
I'd buy it and flip it. I wouldn't live in it.
Be
But,
like a really messed up
whether-
episode of the Property Brothers, just
Yeah,
flipping
exactly.
murder houses.
Yo, that would be such an awesome. I don't know if there's anybody like famous out there who does like HGTV stuff, but can there please be like a spooky like horror like movie house flipping show?
we'll pitch it at my next meeting.
Yeah,
It's currently up for sale
Oh, it
for
is?
less than $1 million. It's $850,000. It's in Amityville, New York, in a pretty nice neighborhood in New York. So you can tell there's baggage attached to that house. Like, the history aside, it's a nice house.
Yeah,
It's a lakefront property.
yeah.
Selling for $850K. No one wants to live there.
No, there's
Yeah.
no way
Buy
that
the
it's
house.
not haunted is the thing. Like
Y-
there's
You have to.
zero-
You couldn't even pay me to go there.
yeah, like there's zero chance that you can just like live there for like 3 years and not have at least 10 like occurrences of like ghosts and spirits going on there.
Yeah, like
You can't convince me otherwise.
I'm not necessarily a believer of things like spirits, but I feel like there's at least some bad energy going on there when people die in that sort of way. Like if someone passes away peacefully, like an older person or even a person who's sick and they pass away peacefully, like I have no problem with that. That happens in probably every single house across the world. But when someone has their life taken away from them,
That's creepy. Yeah, I'm not for it.
I'd buy the house.
So
You can't even get it. Like, yeah, I'd buy it.
out of steering away from the houses real quick, but staying on the topic of horror movies, last night we had the WMSC Halloween party, and there was
Yep.
this question of a would you rather. So would you rather die first in a horror movie or die last? You're gonna die either way, but you could die either
Die
first or
first.
last.
What kind of horrible question is that? Okay,
That
we're
was
gonna
most
kill
people's
you, but we just
reaction.
want you to pick how. Like,
It
Die
depends,
first.
It depends on
Die
it
first.
depends on how it's done.
Nah.
Well,
Yeah.
you gotta think
Like-
about it this way: the first death is usually the dumb person that dies first. You know what I mean?
Oh,
'Cause
I'm
they do
stupid.
something-
I'm an absolute idiot. I'll 100%, because then you have to deal with the rest of the movie, the trauma that comes along with the rest of the movie. You're scared
Exactly.
the entire time.
she could
You're
die
And then
at
you're
the end
gonna still
anyway.
die.
probably
in the end.
soiling yourself.
That's
Like,
true.
Nah.
And
Here,
then
Have
you're
at
still
me.
gonna die.
I want to be. I
That's-
want to be the last one to die. You know why? Because you get more screen time.
No.
but you're dead.
You get more
Ah,
money
who cares?
you can't take it with you.
My legacy lives on.
But
See,
and at
if
the
the
same
question
time,
is if you die first or you live in the end, like yeah, you want to live in the end. But like, can you
Yeah.
imagine living through all your other friends or family's deaths in the rest of the movie?
No, you're
Plus,
right.
like-
I'm totally going out first,
Nah.
and I'll do something funny on camera. That way, I'm
Yeah.
forever.
plus like
Memorable.
people get like there's a lot of people that survive up until the end and end up dying, that they get injured through the process. Like, no, if I'm gonna die, I'm gonna die right away. I don't want to get like shot or something, or they stab me and like there's like a cop out or like, oh, he's dead, wait, he's alive, no, he's dead again.
Thomas, Thomas, as the resident movie guy, go ahead.
First or
What do you think?
last?
I would. I think I would die first. I would if I had to pick.
Yeah.
Just,
I guess
like-
I'm alone here.
like Trent was saying, I think it would be really funny to go out in like some sort of funny way. I feel like I could end up becoming like a cult favorite, like first death character among
Yeah.
fans, like in decades to come.
You'll make a Watch Mojo list.
Your
I'm
your
making-
legacy will live on in the memes. Yeah.
A Watch Mojo list top 10 weirdest, funniest character deaths in a horror.
Top
film.
10 first deaths.
Yeah. So anyway, so
love
we're gonna do
that.
one more. The house from The Exorcist, 1973 film. If you haven't seen The Exorcist and you like horror movies, it's. I mean, personally, I like the
I've
movie.
never seen it.
It is pretty creepy though. This filmed at a bunch of different locations, but one of them is the McNeil residence that was filmed in Georgetown, Washington. Shot inside the home where Reagan's demonic possession and exorcism took place. Or not Reagan, I said Reagan.
Yeah.
And also, many other scenes captured were captured in New York and Georgetown. This is at 3600 Prospect Ave.
That's an interesting one because it is based on true events, well, purportedly true events, but from at least what I remember, it's like the house itself is not the
Yeah.
house where the actual exorcism happened, right? So like I'd probably be fine with that. Like that's a movie house, just a movie was shot there. I'm perfectly fine with living in a house like that. But if it's a house where like actually like terrible things went down, that ain't me.
Yeah.
That ain't me. But yeah, I'd live in the Exorcist house. Sounds like fun.
I think it'd be fun. I think it'd be cool.
You have people passing by, just like, oh, that's the Exorcist house. You just kind of stick out your window, go start waving at people.
I thought you were gonna say just stick your head out your window and start like screaming demonic language.
Start crawling up the wall, going.
Yeah, exactly. Start
Yeah, no,
crawling up
make
the
them
walls.
think there's like a real and immediate.
Yeah.
They
As
drive up
one
those
does.
property values.
Exactly. All right. Well, speaking of movies, As always, Thomas Neer, he's going to hit us with his spooky little entertainment bit to wrap up the show. Thomas, what do you got going on?
All right, thanks, Ryan. Thanks, guys. Now, like I said earlier, unfortunately, I'm not the biggest fan of horror films, but there are some that I enjoy, mostly recent films, such as two Ari Aster films, Midsummer and Hereditary. Not sure if you guys have seen them, but Hereditary is a 2018 horror film. It's Ari Aster's feature film directorial debut, and it focuses on a family who experiences supernatural occurrences after the death of a loved one. Now, the film stars Alex Wolff in one of the lead roles, best known for his roles in the Jumanji films and as a former member of the children's band, the Naked Brothers Band. The film also stars Toni Collette, who many thought was snubbed of a Best Actress Oscar nomination for her role as the mother of the family, Annie Graham. And Aster's second film, Midsummer, is a 2019 horror film revolving around a group of American graduate students who travel to a village in Sweden to take part in a festival celebration that occurs only once every 90 years. The film is much more gruesome than Hereditary, which some fans may find appealing. I personally don't, but I still love the film. The film stars Florence Pugh in the lead role, and she's well known for her roles in Little Women and her upcoming role that is expected to come out in Marvel's upcoming Black Widow. The supporting cast is also made up of Jack Rayner, William Jackson Harper, and Will Poulter. For fans of more psychological horror, I recommend The Lighthouse from Robert Eggers, which came out just last year, 2019. Following two lighthouse keepers in the late 1800s stranded on a New England island due to a storm, and as time progresses, they gradually lose control of their sanity. The minimal cast is led by Robert Pattinson and Willem Dafoe, and was nominated for the Academy Award for Best Cinematography, and will leave viewers wondering what in the world they just watched long after it's over. All three of these films are available to stream on Amazon Prime. For television, I have a show that I watched back in 2017 called The Mist, and it was canceled after just one season, and it's available to stream on Netflix. The show premiered on Spike in the summer of 2017 and is based off the Stephen King horror novel of the same name, following a small population of a small town in Maine, which is enveloped in a deep mist that attacks and attempts to kill anyone who enters it, leaving groups of characters stranded in various locations. The show features a cast of relatively unknown actors, in addition to Frances Conroy, who is known for her roles in Joker and multiple seasons of American Horror Story. And in Spooky Montclarian Entertainment this week, Friday Buzz's own co-host, Leslie Gallagher, who isn't here right now, but she wrote a review on the Netflix series Ratched. The series stars Sarah Paulson and serves as a prequel to the 1975 film One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest, starring Jack Nicholson. Leslie describes the show as the most disturbing show she has ever watched, praising Paulson's performance, the characterization of Nurse Ratched, and the show's writing. Maddie Belov Boxer wrote an article about movies to stream this Halloween weekend, including a varied mix of new and older movies alike. Belov Boxer suggests some movies such as the Rocky Horror Picture Show, Poltergeist, Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Troll Hunter, and My Friend Dahmer. But if gaming is more your thing than movies, Melissa Hawk wrote an article about video games to play to get you into the Halloween spirit, providing a variety of games featuring the likes of ghosts, zombies, and plenty of jump scares, as she suggests and describes the games Dread Out, Creepy Tales, Phasmophobia, and Resident Evil 2.
I will say I started playing Phasmophobia last night, and my word, that game is freaky.
only-
It is.
We done the asylum yet?
I have not gotten to the asylum yet, and I am not
Silent
looking
in the
forward to
basement
it.
by yourself. I did it.
Yeah.
I got a question about that though. Phil, what are you doing tonight?
Nothing. What's up?
I don't know. I feel like, we've been doing something all week related to horror video games.
Yeah, it's something to do with Five Nights.
5 nights that we've done for 5 nights, and it's going to be
5
our fifth
nights
night
at
tonight.
Phil's.
We
I
have on
wish.
Twitch
I
done 5
wish.
nights at Freddy's every night on my
Oh,
Twitch.
is this a plug?
I can't plug it because the FCC would be mad, but
FCC wouldn't leave you be.
no, but I can tell you we're gonna wrap that up tonight at radio_Tara. I can't tell you to be there, but
Yeah, so you can't. So we're not saying that people should tune in to radio_Terra at twitch.tv, right?
yeah,
To watch Tara and Philippe play 5 nights at Freddy's.
and get scared.
Yeah,
again.
because we're not allowed to tell people to go watch.
No. We
Okay,
would
thanks.
never.
I was
know.
just
I
clarifying.
do just want to note, though, we have reached the top of the hour at 90.3 WMSC, Upper Montclair, New Jersey. George, take it away.
Well, thank you very much, everybody. We wanted to say thank you for joining us here on this rainy Friday, which is very spooky. This has been a production of The Morning Buzz, but thanks to our colleagues and friends at the School of Communication and Media at Montclair State University. With that being said, I'm George Jem Gochin, joined alongside
Ryan Trick.
Amanda Moreno.
Philippe Costa.
Tara Cicchetti.
Kenny Horn.
Thomas Nero.
Trent Freeman.
There we
And
go.
with that being said, if the Morning Buzz and if WMSC is not in your radio, then your radio really isn't on. Take care. Happy Halloween, everyone.